a big concern for young people on TikTok right now is, what are we going to do in this recession? So you have like all these people on there talking about finances, career and stuff like that. And I'm like, blah, blah, blah. How you gonna stay fly when you ain't got no money, right? Let's talk about that.
Dressing for my height, knowing that I look fabulous in a suit, that I look fantastic. My 6'2" frame.
That's what you supposed to say. Is this camera on me?
Yeah. Is this on me? This is my camera? Yeah. I look exceptional in the suit. Just myself, I'm tall, so I make sure that when I'm doing it, I do it well because that's how I was raised. You may want to take notes and write this down.
I like that.
I like that too. That was kind of fire.
That's fire.
Welcome to the first episode of Write This Down. I am Marques.
And I'm Angela.
And yes, this is a new podcast where we, two culturally savvy millennials, unpack the world around us, one hot take at a time. So we will explore moments that deserve your attention, from trending topics like fashion, music, food, and everyday lifestyle. So you may want to take notes and write this down.
I like that.
I like that too. That was kind of fire.
That's fire.
Yeah, so on this episode, we're going to talk about something that's near and dear to myself and Angela's heart, and that is personal style. What it means to us.
It means putting that I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No problem. What it means to us, our personal philosophies, things that we've learned through our trajectory as now we are in the elder millennial stage, and helping millennials and even Gen Z stay fly on a budget even during a recession.
Yes.
So, Angela, let's talk a little bit about this. How you want to start this?
I know y'all like, what the hell? What the hell does the recession have to do with personal style? But I was telling Marques that I had been having this conversation on my TikTok, because that's what I do on my TikTok, because I talk and I have a conversation, specifically with young people, though. Seriously, like my demographic are like young people. So a big concern for young people on TikTok right now is, what are we going to do in this recession, right? And they're like, millennials, what do y'all do in 2007, 2008, right? So you have like all these people on there talking about finances and, job, like career and stuff like that. And I'm like, blah, blah, blah. How you gonna stay fly when you ain't got no money, right? Let's talk about that. But no, I think that personal style is one of those things where even in the worst of times, you can maintain that it'll help you maintain your identity, even in a time where things are uncertain. So I think that's a good point to focus on. And we could talk about being fiscally responsible by, maintaining your personal style in different ways.
Right. So this is was this a trending topic on TikTok?
Yes.
Okay, so Gen Zers are asking millennials?
Are always off of TikTok.
Yes, that's fine. So, no worries, yeah. Yeah, so Gen Zers are asking millennials
for help.
Yes.
What did you do? Y'all were around.
We've been through it all.
Yeah. So like, what did y'all? Now y'all want our help.
Yeah.
First y'all be telling us to sit our old corn muffin head asses up. Now y'all want our help. Yeah. But lucky for you, me and Marques are willing to do that. But by way of talking about personal style.
Yes.
So I was telling the kids that in 2000, I graduated college in 2000. Did you come out in 2007 or you came out? 2006. Okay, yeah. I was a year behind. I got done. Okay. Yeah. But I was a year behind. I came out in 2007. And I was telling them I couldn't find, and wasn't no work, wasn't no jobs. What'd you say? Wasn't no work, I couldn't even get a job at Dell. You remember in Nashville, everybody was working at Dell. I couldn't even get a job at Dell. So
Dell Computers?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Like everybody was getting a little job at Dell, coming out making like $40,000. I'm like, I could get a job at Dell. It's nothing. They gave me a math test.
Didn't go well.
It went very bad. It went
math out your bag.
It went very bad.
Yeah.
But I was telling them, I was like, first of all, just even outside of personal style, we lived in a very different time where we didn't care whether other people saw or knew or whatever it was that. So like it wasn't. They're in a very like aesthetically, like they're aesthetic generation.
Right.
So,
Right.
They can't. It's not enough to just have a thing. Everybody has to know you have a thing. And I can understand why it's so difficult for them to not have the thing, because how would they know that I'm fly and hot and all of these things, right? So we come from a very different time, but we're also really scrappy in that we just did what we had to do until we had what we needed to do what we wanted.
That's funny.
And I'm like, I was hostessing at Ruth Chris and stocking shelves at Target and getting my master's degree at the same time or whatever. So I was just doing whatever I had to do.
Damn.
Yeah, I was like literally all at the same time. I'm like, y'all don't want to do that.
No. So you're stocking shelves and waitressing?
Yes. Hostess. Baby, I wasn't carrying no trays around nowhere. But I literally was on something called the in-stocks team at Target.
Early in the morning. You got to come
6 in the morning.
Yeah.
Stocking shelves. But to be fair to Gen Z, I didn't have to worry about somebody coming in there with their phone and then uploading it on the internet like, this bitch being da-da-da-da-da. Look at her stocking shelves at Target.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't have to worry about that. Like, you might have saw somebody and you were embarrassed, or maybe not, because I didn't give a... Like,
I was about to say, I wouldn't give a damn.
Right? But, like, that's they have to worry about that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, somebody recording them and being like, look at her.
Recording them making a living. How dare them?
Like, how dare you? But
how dare
they? They did it to, what was old dude name that played on the Cosby Show?
He was like at Costco.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, I get that. So I was telling them, like, one of my biggest things was, like, I don't give a damn what I give up. I'm not giving up my clothes. Like, I'm not giving up, like, this is a part of my identity. This is this is how I express myself.
Right.
Not just aesthetically, but it's just, God didn't give me an artistic talent. So, like, I like to get up. This is my creative outlet.
Yes.
Right. And I wasn't giving that up. By that time, I had graduated. Before I left college, I had graduated to, like, higher level, like mid-tier clothing. So I was at, like, the BBs and the R&B and the BCBGs and the Rachel Royce. I was doing all of that. But I also wasn't living on my dime. I was being supplemented by a few gentlemen, right? And
few gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, I had a boyfriend and, like, 2 more. So I was being supplemented.
You had a rotation.
Very much so. So I was able to, all of the stuff that I was responsible for, I was able to have that taken care of. But, like, as you mature, you grow, and you realize that that's probably not the best behavior to have. No. Right?
Some people still do that. No matter how old they are.
I plead the fifth. But when I started having responsibilities, I wasn't able, like, I'm like, something has to give. And so then I had to just get creative. I had to dip back into childhood Angela, who didn't come from a lot. And so my mama we just did what we did a whole lot with a little. Yeah. And so
keep your head above water.
Exactly. And as it relates to personal style, I think that's where having it is going to be important versus people that just have the means to buy a whole bunch of stuff. Right. Yeah. Because there's that too.
So you're saying that Gen Z is a look at me generation.
Very much so.
Yeah.
It's not their fault. It's our fault. We created it.
Yeah. I say that. It's so funny. I probably should have worn a more understated top now that we're talking about it.
You should have been like me.
Yeah, but that's funny. I get it because it started with us, even with the look at me part. Yeah. Because you have to understand we did come up with the bling bling and all this. We came up right in that era. Yeah. So you thought you had to have this or that. Because I remember being in college and just spending frivolous money on ridiculous things. Like I had some Chanel sunglasses I went to Lenox Mall to buy. They were like they're way too expensive for me to be buying, and I bought them because I had a little job and I had money I was getting back. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll just buy this and stuff like that.
So you should have been. Let me tell y'all, I was tapped into you. Did you ever shop at UAL in Nashville?
Which one?
UAL. It's a luxury consignment store. That's what I was tapped into. So I was tapped into UAL. I would go down there, and that's how I started buying my little like Fendi sandals. I still have a pair to this day that I would buy there. I wouldn't buy it full price, but yes, I do think, and I say that all the time. I'm like, I think millennials we were really irresponsible in our use of the internet. We sort of created that. Yeah.
The hype beast culture.
Exactly. Yeah, and now the young people are like, how do we keep up with it? And now that we're young, we're older and we're mature and we understand, we looking at retirement and investments and stuff like that. We like, no, don't do that. That's bad. They like,
you got to find your own style. That's what it is.
Right. And that, that's where it comes into play, right? It's like, if you had your own personal style, you wouldn't have to, you can dress I follow people that thrift exclusively, and I love their style. I wouldn't do it. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. Yeah. But
wait, thrifting gives you the heebie-jeebies?
Jeebies, like actual thrifting.
Why?
Have you ever been in a thrift store? I'm not talking consignment. I'm not talking about luxury consignment.
like
I'm not talking about I'm talking about like Goodwill, penny savers, penny them stuff. I'm not.
I never heard of that. But
people be like, I'm going to the
bins. I guess it depends on where you go, right?
No, they all smell the same.
How do they smell? What do you mean?
Mothballs.
I've been inside a Goodwill because I was donating before.
They smell old and dank.
Oh, really?
Dank is such a gross word.
But I feel like you can still probably find some good things thrifting.
You can. I can't do it.
You can't do it.
But that's what I'm saying. I literally follow. Like, I'm not the type of person that has to consume content that only.
What used to be that place? Plato's Closet.
Plato's Closet.
yeah.
See, something like that.
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
Okay.
Right? Because it's set up like I don't know how to explain it. But like,
so you were bougie in your consignment, bougie in your thrifting.
Absolutely. It has to be an actual consignment store. Will I go to Tokyo and consign?
Oh, of course.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Will I go to there are consignment stores in Chicago that I love. Will I go to an actual Goodwill and a Savers? No. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. I get that. As soon as I walk in the door, I start itching. Get me the hell out of here. Get me out. But I follow people whose wardrobes are exclusively from those places. And they're
from thrifting?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's tea. I'm like, girl, you taking it.
It's what now?
Tea.
Oh,
you know,
tea.
The kids say
it's tea. Okay, got it.
And you're taking it.
Yeah. Like she ate that look.
Like she ate that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like we drove that. But for me, it's just discovering your style throughout the years.
You know what I was about to ask you? It slipped my mind, but it came back. So you know how you said in college you had Chanel's. I wrote this down in my notes. I'm like, where did boy shop? Like now,
well, I didn't shop in Nashville. I usually shop in Atlanta mostly.
But like, what I don't, and it could be because I had it's proclivities. Is that the right word? I had a proclivity for a certain type of man. So they all dress the same.
Okay.
And so in my mind, all men's clothes just cost so much money. Still today, I'm like, men's clothes cost too much.
It's funny because I talk to people often about this. Women have more outlets where you can get, I don't like to say cheap. I like to say
cheap is fine. It's cheap.
Value fashion. I like to say value fashion where it doesn't look bad on them if they know what they're doing, as opposed to a man. Men's cheap clothes look cheap. No matter how hard you try to dress it up, it looks cheap.
Okay.
So that's just the difference. You might have some things that may look quality, but after you wash it or something like that. So it's harder for men to shop value.
I was telling the girls, I was like, so they were like, well, what did you do when you didn't have enough money to buy things? I was like, I just went back to Forever 21. Yeah. I just went back to Wet Seal and I just, bought pieces here and there and like mixed it in with my good shit. Yeah. I was like, I actually don't know how men did that because did they have men clothes in Forever? Hell, I don't know.
Well, I didn't shop before Forever 21.
So that's what I'm saying. So in college, what did you wear? Jordans and shit, right? Like expensive stuff.
I wore Jordans. I remember Ibisu jeans. I remember Ibisu's back now, but
yeah, because I want a pair actually.
Iceberg at the beginning of college. I remember that.
Bugs Bunny on your shirt.
Yeah, Iceberg, Pink Panther, Donald Duck. There
was $400 sweaters.
But so for me, it's all about finding where to go in your city. So I knew places where I from high school where I formed rapport with the people who worked there at those stores. Like I used to have one store in Greenbrier that I used to go to that had like street style clothing. I used to find some pieces at the mall, like because at college you're limited. So Sean John and all that. And then I used to go to what we call the Apparel Mart here. And I was thin. I'm still relatively for my age, but back then I was super skinny. Mm-hmm. So we knew, me and my cousin, we knew the Sean John rep. So we would get samples. We would get samples.
And you could fit a sample.
Yeah. So all my stuff I had, I knew I was coming to Tennessee State. I knew people didn't have it.
Okay.
Because it was samples. And some stuff never made it, and stuff like that.
Oh,
so for me, it was like I was always trying to think outside the box. Okay. And then when the internet came along, it was just easier. You know what I'm saying?
You had access to most of it.
Yeah.
I always wonder. I'm like, what did men do? Because you knew the Sean John rep. We used to come down to Atlanta and we used to go to what we call the ghettos. so you know them little stores in the mall. Usually, like Asian people own them, and it's like,
oh, that's what y'all call them, the ghettos.
We call them the ghettos. And we used to go. It would be like homecoming coming up. We need a hot dress. We need to go to Atlanta to the ghettos, and we used to come bust the stores down.
Yeah. So all those were around. So it's just about having those options. We had. Well, mostly LRG was big.
Oh yeah.
LRG
See,
was big.
I couldn't think. I was like trying to think. We were like having. I was like, I don't know. Ask a man. I'll ask.
Sean John, LRG.
Ask a boy.
Stuff like that was big, and Rockaware, all that stuff.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Was
very
super big.
very street style, very urban.
Yeah, very urban.
Yeah.
Because that's baggy jeans. All that was in. But you just gotta.
That's what the girls like.
Yeah, you have to just develop.
I'm the girls.
I tell people all the time, you have to develop your style over years, and you can't.
Yeah.
One thing I learned earlier is you can't follow trends because you waste money following trends. And you shop in pieces instead of just buying like outfits and stuff because you waste money following trends.
You do.
And some of the stuff I wish I would have kept, like I had like when I was out of college, Prada sneakers, America Cup sneakers, like I had. I'll post some pictures to our Instagram page.
Are those the ones with the patent? Is it patent?
Some of them are patent leather, some of them aren't.
I want some.
Yeah, so
they back out now, right?
Yeah, those. So we had the America Cup. That's what we were rocking a lot. And they were like $350 in Neiman's. Mm-hmm. So we would go in and get those. I got to put some of these throwback pics on our Instagram page. So I'll do it for this episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we used to do that, mix it with the Sean John and what's that denim that came out, that rock and roll? Like first when we graduated college, that Rock and Republic. Rock and Republic.
It was on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah. So all that stuff I would just mix and match but those were very trendy.
Yeah.
At the time. And so when I look back, it's like, damn, why I shouldn't have bought
those sneakers. What's another thing
the
that you wish you would have kept?
I wish I would have. Well, all my dunks and stuff. I had hella sneakers, and then I remember it was a website. What's the name of that web? Pickyourshoes.com. It was a website called pickyourshoes.com. And I used to be on there faithfully, especially my junior and senior year. And people were like, where the hell you get those from?
Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry about it.
So I used to do that for sure. So stuff like that. Small stuff. And I used to get like t-shirts with like Jay-Z on it. Mm-hmm. Like t-shirts that spoke to me, like like do the right thing t-shirts. Yeah. So graphic tees, stuff like that.
See, I didn't.
And polo was still cool for like date nights and stuff.
I think that's the difference between being in somewhere like a New York or whatever, because now people that I've like met, like just online and created relationships with, they have like these vast archives of like clothes and stuff that they call. New York. I was like, I didn't know to do that. So I was just, when I didn't like stuff anymore, I would just give it away. Oh yeah. Right? Yeah.
Because you also bought a lot of trendy things.
Exactly. But it would be like trendy designer things where now young ladies, like they see that stuff and it's vintage now. It's vintage now. Yeah. And it's either it makes a great collection piece or it sells really well. I'm like, fuck, I could have been making some cash money. Yeah. I'm so mad.
Yeah. Some of the things that I've gotten rid of, I regret. But for the most part, once I started buying like classic pieces, I just kept those pieces. Like I still have stuff from 2010.
Yeah, see, not me.
Yeah.
Like I just would be like, you want this? Every time I see my little sister, I got the Speedy 35, like the old one. I was like, that bag too big for me no more. I don't want it. Every time I be want to say, can I have my bag?
Yeah, you gave it away.
Can I have my shit back?
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
She gonna be like, hell no, you can't. I'm like, bro, that was my, now though, like when I buy stuff, I'm like, I'm never getting rid of this. Like ever. I'm not having kids, but like my niece who absolutely hates 99% of specifically my shoes, she hates them. I'm like, but when you get older, you're going to be one of those girls on TikTok and be like, look what I found in my auntie's closet from 2020.
Yeah.
And then people gonna be like, ooh, what's those? I'm like, girl, it's gonna be tea.
Yeah.
I'm saving it all for you. I don't care how much you say you don't like it now. Okay, so what if you had to give a definition to just personal style in general, what would be your definition? Like, how would you describe it?
Well, it's funny just coming off of, the Met Gala and seeing, the black dandyism and stuff. Because I grew up, like, you had to dress up on Sundays and stuff like that. So, I feel like sometimes as people we lost some of that, but it's always been important to me. So for me, I feel like my style was started from my dad. Just suits. I never forget. My dad.
Don't be laughing.
My dad went
Clean as a whistle.
My dad he used to travel for work, and we had to get some new suits for, I don't know what it was for exactly, but my mom took us to get some new suits, and she took us to JCPenney, right? And my dad got mad that she took us to JCPenney, and he came home and he said, we're going to take this stuff back. And he took us to the Buckhead Men's Shop to get fitted for suits. So that's the type of time, that's how, I fell in love with fashion in general. So stuff like that. Because just being presented as neat and looking your best when you leave the house. So for me, it just grew over time because my love of hip hop also influenced my style. I used to have a saying, because even back then we were buying like, I remember I had like Versace t-shirts and with the Gerbos and Timberlands and stuff.
Damn Gerbos.
So I used to like,
Lord have mercy.
from like junior year of high school to like college, I used to like, Jay-Z had a line in one song called, he said, I'm so ghetto chic, I'm where the hood and high fashion meets. So that's what I base my style on. I felt like that same way. Like I'll have I'll have a Versace t-shirt and Gerbo jeans on, because that's how I would, that's my style for the longest. And then now that I am more mature, I have a toned down aesthetic. Again, I say this, but sometimes you see I'll still wear like logo tees.
But this is my thing. That doesn't count. Jill Sander, like as like bold.
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but still, I don't do a lot of stuff like this anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I do muted colors or a lot of earth tones, but I do a pop of, I have some orange gallery department pants that I love. So you got to throw in stuff like that. So for me, it's all about dressing for my height, knowing that I look fabulous in a suit, that I look fucking fantastic. My 6'2" frame.
That's what you supposed to say. Is this camera on me?
Yeah. Is this on me? This is my camera? Yeah. I look exceptional in the suit. Just myself, I'm tall. So I make sure that when I'm doing it, I do it well, because that's how I was raised. Yeah. It ain't no half stepping. You know what I'm saying? So now, like I said, it's pops of color here and there. And of course I keep sneakers. But I'm also, like I said, I do loafers every now and then. As you know, penny loafers are back in a big way. Dress up and dress down. So things like that. So I that's my personal style in a nutshell. So I went from ghetto chic to a contemporary minimalist style with a flair.
Okay. POV.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
So mixing prep, classic, and street together.
Okay, I like that.
That's me. Yeah.
I like that. And I also agree. Like I think for me personally, personal style is you mentioned your father as an influence, you mentioned hip hop as an influence. And I think that's absolutely what personal style is.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? It is an expression of our interests, our personality, our lifestyles, like lived experiences. I think it's a combination of all of those things. Plus how we want to like convey that out to people. Yeah. Right? Yeah. I know people say, oh, I don't care what people think about me. It really annoys me when people like downplay. Well, clothes aren't that, and it's just not, clothes and personal style is a difference. Yes, like clothes as an object is not important.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm gonna interject. What I've learned also is that the majority of people can't dress and they don't care to dress.
And that's an issue for me.
Yeah, that's the majority. Like we're in the minority, and it's okay because people have their thing. Some people love food, some people love clothing, some people love music. Yeah. But the majority, especially in America, the majority of Americans can't dress.
But I feel like
that is a fact. This is my camera here. Look, the majority of Americans can't dress, and I've said it, okay, and I will continue to say it. And if you don't believe me, that means you haven't traveled the world.
But it's also like it's one of those things where I feel like people like put off as like trivial, like it's not important. And I'm like, I don't know you.
Yeah.
So if I'm meeting you for the first time and you look fucking terrible, my first impression of you is that's a fucking terrible person. Because absolutely.
A terrible person?
I mean,
Jesus Christ.
you gotta be. You don't care about yourself. You don't look like, no, that may be harsh. But like, my first impression of you is absolutely nothing. It's giving nothing. Right? And so I have to feel like operating outside of that first impression to get to know anything about you.
You should, yeah. You just can't. You can't.
It depends.
Yeah. Again, the style is what you make it. And some people have it, some people don't.
Some people care, some people care.
It's not important to some people.
I mean,
and
I
that's
get
fine.
it.
That's fine.
I get it.
I've dated. I remember one time I dated this girl.
Oh, I don't have the capacity. I already know where you're gonna go.
I didn't notice about her right away. Like, I just remember one time we were dating. This had to be over 10 years ago. What's this? Yeah, over 10 years ago. So I remember one time we was getting ready to go to church one time. And she was like, oh, yeah. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm just going to get dressed, put on this. Usually I used to wear suits to church, back then, for sure. And then when I saw her outfit coming out for church, I was like, where the fuck are you going?
What did she have on?
Excuse me, Lord. I didn't say that at the time, but in my head. I said, where are you going?
What did she have on?
This was really threw me off. And like, she had, it was like a sweater. It's like she just threw something on.
Yeah.
It was like she didn't take any time. And I remember I noticed she had like these flats on, and there was a hole in one of the flats. And I said, "Oh hell no!" I said, things were never the same. I said, "This ain't for me. I can't, because you can't be representing me coming out here looking at." But that's how I grew up.
Yeah.
So maybe she didn't grow up that way.
Yeah.
So I shoot her some bail, but we're not. That means we're not together. We can't do this together. We can't do this thing. We can't jail if you coming out looking like that.
So I guess to your point, like, do you think that people can be, because here's the thing. I think that having personal style and being able to dress is two different things.
Yeah.
And you could have wonderful personal style, meaning your style can be absolutely a reflection of who you are, your lifestyle, your interests in all of those things. Right. And people still not like it. I don't think the point of personal style is for people to like it. I think it's for people, for it to be personal.
Right.
I get that. Like, it's people that I look at and I'm like, they have a great personal style. They have a great point of view for who they are and how they want to be perceived. Mm-hmm. It ain't my tea. Yeah. And I specifically talking about like maybe somebody I'm dating, I don't want to walk hand in hand with that. Like that, I don't find that attractive. I find that a great sense of style. It just ain't.
It's not for you.
It's just not my thing, right?
Okay. Yeah.
That I can get with, right? Now, if I don't really like your personal style and at least you have a POV, at least you have a personal style, I might be able to talk to you. You might be able to, if you got a little game or something, you might be able to talk to me. But that's different than the person that just absolutely does not care. I was dating a dude one day. Oh my God. We went, or not one day, at some point, and we went shopping. And I picked up a jacket that I wouldn't buy. Of course, he was paying for it because what the hell I was going shopping with you for if I'm going to break out my card, right? But he didn't last long because one, I don't like when people mention the price of something.
Okay.
Like, damn, in the store, you could wait till
How much was the jacket?
It was $400.
Okay, that's not terrible.
You could have said.
How long have y'all been dating?
What's that better?
I'm just asking. I'm trying to paint the picture for the audience.
It had been off and on for a while. This is somebody that, we never was like in a relationship together. No. We just
I don't want this to stray, but go ahead. Just go to the
right? Yeah. But so like he like, damn, why the jacket cost for? I'm like, in front of my people. We in the store.
Oh, y'all were in front of people? He said this? Loud like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, don't do that.
Yeah, I would have pulled you to the side like, look, I ain't got it right now.
You could have said something. So me.
Holler at me on the 15th.
Because now I'm embarrassed. I said, I got it. Yeah, you ain't got to, like, you won't embarrass me. But no, but the point that I was making is after we left, we were having a conversation. He was like, I just don't understand why you have to spend so much money on like clothes and stuff like that.
That's not his world though.
Yeah, just not in that instance, but just it became a conversation about how much I spend on clothes or how much I buy clothes or how important clothing and, that type of stuff is to me. And then I was like, oh, okay. So that's a difference. It's a difference between it not being somebody else's thing and them finding it silly and trivial.
Yeah, but yeah, and that's the same thing. He if it's not your thing, it's just not your journey.
Yeah,
that's fine. But you don't want someone to look down and say, "Oh, why are you doing this? This is dumb to spend it."
Exactly.
Like that's
so we have on jeans. I got on a pair of Margiela jeans. He got on a pair of I don't know what jeans. He gonna say these ain't no difference between the jeans we got on.
Oh no.
I said, first of all, it is, but okay. And then he gonna say, you got your jeans. You paid all that money for the jeans. I got these jeans from the Costco, and they.
No, the fuck he didn't say Costco.
Right here to the man. The man being Jesus Christ.
Costco?
Costco.
And he's a young black man? He's
young, he older than me.
Oh, okay.
He older than me.
How long ago was this?
This was during the pandemic. So
okay, so 5 years ago, he was shopping at Costco to buy jeans.
Make good money, has a great career. So it's not that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to I want to preface this. We're not saying it's a bad thing. But we're saying if you have the means and you choose to, that means, that goes to my point that he doesn't care about style. That's the thing.
That's unattractive to me.
Yeah, okay,
right?
that's fine. Yeah,
right.
I get it.
So that's when it becomes unattractive because I think people think when I say, oh, I can't date a man that that doesn't have style. I don't like a man with no style. They're like, that's so trivial. I'm like, it goes deeper than that though.
Now, him comparing his Costco jeans to your jeans is nasty work. That was nasty.
Exactly. It goes deeper. I'm like,
yeah.
the same.
So I'm under the impression, or not the impression, this is what I live by when it comes to certain things. I just think the Japanese do everything better.
Better.
They just do everything better.
Moosey vintage for the girls.
Yeah, especially when it comes to aesthetic and style. A lot of this they got from Western world, which is America, but they just elevated it.
Yeah.
And denim is one of those things.
My thing with Chinese denim now, or Japanese denim, my bad. See, that's why I just say Asian. My thing with Japanese denim is, baby, you better buy your size, and you better make sure it's yours, because ain't no move. They don't move.
yeah. You talking about the raw denim, denim. Yeah.
They don't move.
Yeah.
It ain't like that stuff you get over here with the stretch in it. That shit is.
Yeah. For some of them, but they can get also some softer Japanese denim. Yeah. But they just do everything better it's when it comes to aesthetics. So I always look to Japan, and especially through Japanese denim to kind of like, what can I do with this, or how can I put my outfit around this? Because you know what I'm saying, I like to buy pieces, and Japanese denim is one of them.
That's a good marker of if you got good personal style too. I remember an Asian guy stopped me in the airport and was like, I love your jacket. I walked away and said, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because even in your style, like I dress for me, I really don't care about others, but it does give you a sense of like, oh,
yeah,
I'm doing something right. If someone compliments you, or if you get multiple compliments in one day.
Listen, especially people that I consider really stylish. I think for me, one of the biggest markers of like, okay, whatever it is that I'm trying to like transmit when I'm getting dressed, whatever I'm putting down, people picking up. Yeah. Because people are always saying to me things like, I saw this shirt. I said, this looks exactly like Angela. I said, the people are picking up what I'm putting down. Yeah. When I'm getting dressed in the morning. And so for me, I'm like that. And I don't have a very like unique personal style either. I'm kind of like you in that I am very like, I call it elevated casual, right? Where you might catch me in a t-shirt and some denim, right? And some flats. And from afar, it just looked like t-shirt, denim, and flats. But you get closer and it may be some shoulder pads, or, there may be some sort of like asymmetric hem or some sort of detail that you don't necessarily see with the naked eye.
You're right.
The shoes might be tabbies, like you don't necessarily see with it. And I think that's a true reflection of like
tabbies.
Margiela tabbies. Yes, not the ones y'all be seeing on Instagram. Yeah. Shit, I'm about to buy some of those because I can't keep giving them my money. But I think that's very much a reflection of my personality in that I don't know why I often come off as like really serious. I don't know why. But then I open my mouth and people be like, that girl ain't got a serious bone in her body. She loud, she funny, she always got a story. She's very extroverted. And I think like my style reflects that in that it looks very basic, but you get up close and you like, all of these little like funky little details.
Yeah. And it's always devil in the details for me. Yeah. I'm a very detailed. It has to tell a story and it has to have details.
Yeah.
So I'm an introverted extrovert, and I think my style reflects that as well.
Yeah.
Like, you'll catch me in some muted things,
Yeah.
and then one day you'll catch me, like I said, I have orange pants. You'll catch me in something like that. So it's the same thing. It's just it's about how you feel, and just do how you feel. And we talk about money often when it comes to fashion and buying clothes. A lot of times, if you do it right, you don't have to spend a lot of money.
That's what I'm saying.
Some of the fun in it for me is finding things that I know I can get that's $700 and I got it for $230.
And I be on impatient.
Yeah.
I tell the girls always tell me, they always are like, how do you develop personal style? I'm like, one, what we just talked about, you have to know yourself, and you have to make sure that what you are wearing is like reflecting how you want people to perceive and approach you. If you have on some crazy, funky, cool outfit and you're an introvert and you don't want people to talk to you, then you don't wear duck shoes, because people gonna be like, oh, those shoes are so cool. Tell me about those. You don't want to dress like that if you don't want to be approached in that way.
For sure.
The same way as it relates to like shopping. Patience, right? Unless you are the type of person that is shopping for trends and stuff like that, then you can't be patient, because you gotta be. But if you're a person that wants like clothes that are investment pieces, right, that you can wear over and over and over again, that also helps you build personal style. In that, you know, being repetitive in your clothing is a sign of like personal style. You're styling the same thing over and over and over
again. It's your
uniform. Yeah, it's your uniform. You be patient. Like, I will put some stuff on 7 different wishes. I got it on Farfetch. I got it on Essence. I got it on Net-a-Porter. I got it saved and everything. And I'm seeing who going on sale first and fastest and lowest.
Oh yeah, always. Yeah.
And then I'm buying it. I know when the luxury stores are having their annual sales. That's when I'm shopping. Yeah. Like, other than that, I don't really be shopping like that. Yeah. until it's a sale. Or what I'm gonna do.
Other than that, I don't be shopping like that.
That's like twice a year, like big shopping. Like, I may buy one thing here and there.
Yeah, I mean, let's keep it up. You're definitely shopping all year round.
Yeah. Okay, I was gonna say, I was about to give a caveat that, you know, I'm always on like satire or something like that. I'm always type something I'm looking for in satire to see if it's a store in Italy that got one left in its size 10.
Always. Yeah, we're gonna put some of these links in you know, because I know Angela does have a little country swang sometimes, a twang, so y'all might not understand, but satire, essence,
which is crazy
places.
Because you were born in the South, I was not.
Yeah, but I mean, some people tell me I have it, but I don't think I have it as distinctive.
It's not as, but I also have a Midwestern.
Well, everybody from the Midwest is from the South.
It's country, right? So it's a mix of. Two kind of countries.
Every black person from the Midwest, I want y'all to know y'all from the South.
Exactly. Okay. And my people
this is my camera. Every black person from the Midwest, y'all from the South. Y'all got family in Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama. It's the Great Migration. And my family out West too. Out West as well.
My family is from where? Blytheville, Arkansas. Find that on the map.
See what I'm saying? Yeah.
And somewhere in Mississippi that I don't know. But so I do shop all year round, but I'm also very patient. And I don't pay full price.
Yeah, I rarely pay full price, but sometimes I do buy, because I do mix streetwear in sometimes, so sometimes I have to buy
drops and stuff.
Yeah, I have to buy drops, or I have to buy resale items. Yeah. Like if I know I wanted this Supreme whatever, and it's sold out, I'm like, damn, let me watch it for a couple of weeks and see. But I might have to pay a little more. Yeah. But that's what I mix in. It's just finding what you love, and how you can express yourself to the world. I've recently got back into luxury consignment too. Yeah. I be on the real, busted it down to the white meat. All right, go ahead and wrap this up for us before I tell people about our. And also, I want to touch on this one time. Also, when you are men and women, I know women already do this for the most part, but men also, you have to know your body type. The body type. Important. And fit is so important. So if I am over 6 feet, which I am, and I'm wearing, I'm over 6 feet and I'm wearing. Is this camera on here? If I'm wearing wide leg pants, it's gonna look better on me at 6'2" than it will at somebody at 5'5", 5'6". So just know your body type. I think that's important. Yeah. So because people will see you will recommend something, which is why I don't do it. That ain't my type of content. The girl be like, can you give us some clothes for plus size or something? I'm like, I can only tell you how to dress for me, baby. Yeah. Like, and you know how I learned that? I always tell people to get in the stores. People don't like to go in the stores anymore, but the best way to figure out what looks good on your body is to just like go into the stores and try on a bunch of silhouettes. So some people, it's not that serious. Don't do it. But for me, I be down at the stores, especially for luxury brands that I really like.
like because the sizings be wonky as hell.
Yeah.
I'm down in Neiman's and Saks and Nordstrom trying on the clothes that I like. Even if I'm gonna go home and put it in Google and see if Satire got it for $200 less, I'm at least gonna go in the drawer and try it on.
So one more quick point. So, because you mentioned certain brands and things like that. So for me, sometimes I go out of my way to find brands that I know a lot of people aren't wearing, but also that are very quality luxury brands that aren't popular. Do you do that as well?
Yeah, I think Essence is a great site for that. That's one of the sites that I go to often. But also, and I don't know if it's every Nordstrom, but I definitely know in Chicago and in New York, they have this space section. And so basically it's contemporary luxury and it's all the up and coming, like younger designer brands. Like I bought a t-shirt from a brand called Tanner Fletcher. I had never heard of it before, but I went in Nordstrom a couple weeks ago and I was like, oh, this is super cute. And then I went and looked it up and I was like, oh, I like all of this. But that's where all like the Simone Rocha and I mean, Acne Studios is known, but like, they don't put Acne Studios sections in the store. No. But you go in Nordstrom and they have that space section and you can get Issey Miyake, please. You can get Tanner Fletcher, Simone Rocha. You can get like all of these up and coming brands in that section. So even just going to Nordstrom in the store specifically, that side of the store is like super cool. Yeah,
that takes up the bulk of my time with shopping is when I search. Yeah. And just search. So like, let me find a brand that I know. Like I said, that one brand I mentioned in another episode, Woo Young Me.
Yeah. Where did you find that one at?
I found it on, I want to say End first.
End is really clothing. Good. Yeah.
And then Essence had more of it. And that's what I found.
And then we also have like really cool boutique luxury stores and like Notre Sovereign is in. It's one in Pittsburgh that I love called Tons. Because they got
in Pittsburgh.
Yes. Oh. Yeah. I randomly found them one day searching the internet because I was looking for a pair of Margiela replicas in a like that chocolate brown. Yeah. And it's called Tons, Tons. They always got a sale. And whoever their buyers is for their boutique, 10 out of 10.
And those are the tips.
10 out of 10.
Be your own personal style. Don't worry about the world. Worry about you and how you feel when you leave the house. Go ahead and take us out of here.
That's it for the episode. We've given you plenty to take with you. Make sure you're revisiting your notes before you getting dressed.
And it will be a playlist for this episode as well. This episode is entitled Change Clothes, and the playlist will have the same name. So we'll get that to you as well. And this has been another episode of Write This Down. I am Marques.
And I'm Angela.
And we will see you next time.
Bye.
So you may want to take notes and write this down.
I like that.
I like that too. That was kind of fire.
That's fire.